Hello, everybody. It is Monica Lamb, and I just want to give you a quick 10-minute brief introduction on the virtual call center training to employment work opportunity. Thank you for your interest in employment as a virtual call center agent with Community Wellness Group. This letter provides you with a list of requirements and qualifications needed to work on the Arise platform as a virtual call center agent. Please note, you are at no time an employee of Arise. You will be working as a seasonal independent contractor with the call center of Community Wellness Group. To get started, you must register with Arise as an agent by going to the website at www.ariseworkfromhome.com. Note, contact the center after you've created your ID and password. Be clear on what's involved before committing. Learn about the client's opportunity available, the schedule, the service hours, and any course requirements necessary to begin providing service. Pay would depend upon client opportunities you choose. The call center pays for agents based on committed intervals served. Each interval is 30 minutes and 2 intervals represents 1 hour. Each agent receives a direct deposit every 2 weeks. You will also be required to have a background check. A third party performs the background check and or drug analysis. What characteristics make up an ideal agent? So here's 4 just to keep in mind. Got to be self-motivated, professional, and capable of providing a high level of service, positive, optimistic, punctual, and dependable. As you notice there, those are the workstation. Keep in mind, because you're an independent contractor, everything you do from this point of being an agent is independent on you in the virtual cyberspace. Therefore, you must clock in on time, you must be on time. So what are some equipment required if you want to work at home? If you're in the certification stage of it, the training stages of it, you need a headset that has a USB port at the end. As such, any brand is sufficient. Once you've completed certification, you move on to the servicing your client. Then you will need a phone headset. You may purchase the one that looks like this. If you already have a home phone, you may purchase a headset that's suitable for your home phone. You may purchase any brand. The workstation. I recommend a desktop computer because desktops are easy to update. Along with your desktop computer and your internet service, it must be hardwired, meaning you must have the Ethernet card coming from the modem to your actual computer. So when do you get paid? Here's the 2018 call center service revenue calendar for the US, the UK, and Canada. So for example, the call center will the blue numbers right here, the blue numbers represents when Arise will invoice the call center. The gray numbers represent when the funding from Arise will deposit into the call center's bank account. The green numbers represent when the call center agent will get paid. So for example, if Arise invoices the call center January 8th, Arise will deposit the funds in the call center account January 9th. The call center will process its payroll January 10th. And the client support professional, which is the agent or virtual call center representative, will get paid 2 business days after the call center processes payroll, which would be January 12th. So what are the eligibility requirements? Once you've registered on the Arise platform and you have signed your acknowledgement waiver, confidentiality statement, and you've signed your waivers and your agreements, then you will be required to take a voice assessment. The voice assessment takes about 10 minutes to take. It consists anywhere from 10 or less questions, and those questions are done in an audio version over the phone. If you're successful, you move on to either a self-assessment or a program assessment, all of which takes about 30 minutes to complete. Sometimes it consists of 20 questions or less. This particular assessment is geared towards the client you will service. It is most likely open book. If you are unsuccessful with the voice assessment, you will not be able to take this opportunity for 90 days. If you're unsuccessful with the program assessment, you will have to wait 30 days before you can make the attempt. The background check. For security of Arise clients and their customers, a background check is mandatory and includes a national criminal history search, a name and social security number verification, and a current address verification. Please note, in regards to the criminal history record, only criminal convictions are considered, and a conviction does not necessarily preclude an individual from providing services on behalf of a company. When evaluating this information, Arise considers all relevant factors, including the barrier the criminal offense may have on the services required by the particular project. When you're doing your background check, you must also provide an affidavit, which is a templated form that Arise has come up with, and you must copy your ID card to the affidavit and send it via email to Arise Affidavit of Identification at arise.com. So, how long will it take for the opportunity you are interested in to get all registered and become a qualified client? Normally, it takes about 3 business days to get feedback. After you receive your client qualification notice, you'll have 24 hours to pay for the certification course. What to expect in the certification? Certification is an investment opportunity. Like someone in the medical or law school, it prepares the learner to be a true professional. Learners will gain the key knowledge related to the client, call types, customers, and how to be successful. Certification normally costs anywhere from $19.99 to $249, depending on the opportunity. Here's some general information. Most classes are required a time commitment of 4 hours in class and 2 hours of self-paced work 5 days a week, meaning Monday through Friday. So you would think of it like a distant learning course. These courses are normally 4 to 6 weeks. Some opportunities offer fast-track certification options for shorter courses. Learners must pass all course requirements, including quizzes and exams, as stated in the opportunity announcement, in order to be certified and provide service. So what does that look like? When you first register for Arise platform, you will get something that looks sort of like this, what they call an opportunity announcement. You will have the course duration. It would state the class times offered, and it will give you some options that you're able to take that certification. Keep in mind, whichever option you choose, you must keep the same time slot Monday through Friday until you're done with certification. Once you've completed this training, you go into what we call service work, service intervals. It is suggested. Some clients, it will tell you right here where it says suggest 30 intervals or 15 hours per week, which stated on your statement of work. The intervals, as stated in the beginning of the video, is 30 minutes. It may have peak hours, it may have weekend requirements, as well as peak day requirements. Make sure you pay close attention to your opportunity announcements that's given to you prior to you servicing a client or you expressing interest. Please make sure that you print down the opportunity announcement, because once it's gone, you may not get that particular announcement again. So what happens after the certification course? 3 to 5 days before class starts, you will receive a welcome letter from your instructor. This instructor will include his name, the course dates, and times the courses will begin. It pretty much will reiterate what you already know. That instructor will also possibly give you a pre-session prior to the first day of your certification. In that pre-session, if you have any technical concerns about how to actually log on to the computer or actually access your course room, you will be able to ask at that time. Some of the clients offer what's called an Arise Secure Desktop. You will see referred to as an ASD. That particular device is put on a flash drive, all of which, depending on the type of computer, you have to reset your firewalls. But all of this will be expressed to you prior to the first day of your course. So it's very important that you check your email. So what happens after you're done with training? You have some committed adherence. The committed adherence is the amount of time an agent serves in comparison to the end of the shows. In layman's terms, the time that you choose to work for a particular client, whether it's 9 to 9:30, 9:30 to 10, 7 p.m. to 8, whatever it is, that's called commitment adherence. That means you actually selected that, you volunteered to do that time, you have to service that time at least 90% of that time. What happens if you can't service? Well, you have 5 tips to be successful with your adherence, committed adherence. The first one is that you want to log in 5 to 10 minutes prior to servicing your intervals to ensure that your technology is functioning properly. Tip 2, you can swap if necessary. Swap allows the agent to put selected intervals that cannot be serviced into a pool, allowing other company opportunity to service them in their place. Intervals can be put up for swap after 48 hours lockdown period, but only up until 2 hours before the selected interval. Tip 3, release if needed. The agent can release intervals before the 48-hour lockdown period. Tip 4, waiver requests should be as soon as the issue is identified. And the last tip is to use the steps to view committed adherence guide. So all of this information is given to you prior to you actually becoming a servicing agent. Here are some of the levels requirements. We've already talked about the commitment adherence, which is the 90%. Here's the average time. At some point after training and after you've done it for a while, you're taking those inbound calls, you'll get your time down anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes. Every client is different and it has its own time. Average time of handling those calls. So please refer to your statement of work. Your quality, your net promoter score, your transfer rate and documentation rate, all of that will be given to you prior. Please make sure you're reading it, become comfortable with what you're doing, give good quality service, and you should be okay. So Rise has a cool little feature to help you out. If you have questions or concerns, or maybe you're having issues with enrollment, maybe technical issues or registration issues, then you have time slots and you can use a tool that's called AVA, that's a Rise Virtual Assistant, and you can ask those questions during this time. It's like participating in a live chat, which is most people do every day. So if you do have to use AVA and you have to ask specific questions, if you're talking about enrollment, that is when it's course related, opportunity related, voice assessment, and maybe the voucher. When you're in the certification stages and you have VPN issues, Citrix, client code issues, or Rise portal issues, or Rise virtual meeting room issues, or phone-in issues, then you would ask AVA about meeting a certification technician. And then last but not least, you have your central operations. That's dealing with your general star medic, scheduling questions, releasing and swapping hours. If you have some concerns in reference to that, then you contact central operations. All right, everybody, that concludes this orientation for this evening. I wish to see all of you in our smiling location at 7356 Garners Fair Road, Suite 131, anytime Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Peace and love.